Hello! Welcome to Pixelite Game Tutorials. My name is Brian Thompson, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create RPG effects in Gimp. So, the version of Gimp you're going to want to use is called Gimp 2.6.11, and that's the latest version that I know of that works reliably with all my packages that I use. Gimp 2.8 doesn't seem to be working right now. You're also going to want to get the Gimp Animation Package, also known as GAP, and install that. That's a plugin that will give you the ability to have multi-frame animations and onion skinning and all that jazz. So when you've installed the Gimp Animation Package correctly, you'll know it because you'll have this video menu up here. So I'm using the default layout with the default toolbox, and I also have this layers guide over here, and you can get that by pressing Ctrl L. So the first thing I'm going to do is create the first frame of a new effect, and I'm going to make it 256 by 256, which is the iPad 3 resolution for our effect sprites. And what you're going to want to do here is right-click on the layer and add an alpha channel, and then press Ctrl A to select it all and delete, and that'll give you an alpha background to work with. So the effect I'm going to be working on is called Song of Serenity. So the first thing I'm going to do is give myself a softer brush, and I'm going to turn off brush dynamics opacity and turn on size. And this helps to keep it cleaner because you don't have varying opacities this way. One thing about drawing effects is you want to keep them as clean as possible, and that'll help make your work seem more professional. So the first thing I'm going to draw is a music note. Fairly basic. I'm going to switch to white and put the size down a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. Always a good idea to zoom in on what you're working on. You can get more precision that way. And for filling it in, I'll go like that. And crank it down a bit and just fix this here. Okay, so I have a green note now. More of a white note than a green note, actually. What I'm going to do is create a new image to just use as a palette for copying and pasting objects to and from. And I'm going to copy this over here. That's my palette image. So if I was going to make this my first frame, I want these notes coming from the top of the screen. So I'm going to Control X that and Control V to paste and put it up here at the top of the screen, and I'm also going to make this a little bit transparent because it's just fading in. This is the beginning of the animation. Now what I'm going to do is go to Video. Oh wait, I need to save this a special way, because this is the first frame in the image. Hit Save As. I have an effects folder under my documents, so I'll just go to my documents. Effects. Create folder, and I will call this Song of Serenity, and hit enter, and then I will save this as just Serenity, and this part is important, -0001 .xcf, and it has to be dash is everything that you use with the Gimp Animation Package. The first frame always has to be -0001 .xcf, or the Gimp Animation Package won't know how to save and load your files. So now that we have that, we can go duplicate continue, and you'll see that this is now Serenity-0002.exe. This is the second frame. So what I can do is I can delete this note, because that's a transition, that's the note from the first frame. What I'm going to do is set up the onion skinning. So in the configuration, you're going to want to hit change frame reference to -1, so we get the frame before. You're going to want to hit the opacity of the onion skin layer to 50 and the sampling opacity to 100. And then you're going to want to put all visible under select mode, and auto create after load, auto delete after save. And that should do it. So we'll hit OK. Now we have an onion skin of layer 1, and I don't think you can see it, but I can see it. There's just a faint thing of our note here. So now I go to my palette and copy this and paste it into my layer. Now what I'm going to do is put this here, like it's just moved slightly since the first frame, and I'm going to draw a bit of a glow behind it, like a glow trail that it's left. So what I'm going to do is draw that on a different layer to keep things cleaner. And I'm going to draw that, transparency. Now what I'm going to do is, since I want the glow trail to be slightly transparent, I'm just going to set the opacity of the layer down that it's being drawn on, so that my brush opacity stays at 100. And it just makes things easier. Oh, I'm drawing in white still. No wonder it's not showing up very well. So I'll just Control Z that really quick. Okay, and I need a bigger brush. So as you can see, because I'm drawing it all at a constant opacity, semi-transparent, it looks very clean. Alright, that's it for this frame. I'm going to duplicate continue and go on to the next frame. And what I'm going to do here is go back to my note layer. And now you can see from the onion skin that the note from the previous frame is there, that you can see it to position this one. What I'm also going to do is paste another note to start the second note that's falling down, and of course I'm going to paste that at slightly less opacity because it's just barely fading in. It's just barely there. Now for this, for the glow effect, I'm going to go to its layer and just delete the whole thing and redraw it, so that it gets, whereas the note is very static because it's copy and paste, if you delete something and completely redraw it, it gives it a very animated look. Okay, video duplicate continue, go on to the next frame. And now what I'm going to do is move my notes around. Control X, Control V, move this down here. And I'm actually just going to delete this note because it's faded and paste a new one. So it's going to move this way. And then I'm going to delete my glow effect, and I'm going to draw two glow effects this time. I'm going to make a new layer for the second one because it's going to be white. This note's trail is going to be white, whereas this one's is still going to be green. So here we go. First to draw the green trail. And then move over here, and I'm going to draw the white trail. Whoops. Oh, I forgot to set this one down to a certain opacity as well, so that it's also semi-transparent. It's very hard to see. What you can do to change the background color of these is go to Edit, Preferences, Display, and then you can choose between a light checkered background, a mid-tone checkered background, or dark. I'm going to go dark, and then my stuff will show up better. And you see this isn't good, but since I have it on a different layer, I can erase whatever parts of that I want without affecting any of the other elements on the image. Alright, so we only have 4 frames, but I'm just going to show you how to preview the animation. A very important thing is the VCR navigator, which allows you to move back and forth between your frames. If you get error messages, don't worry about it, just click OK. So we go to playback, and as you can see it's playing very fast. So I'll set this down to like, I usually play these at 12 frames per second in the game, but since there aren't very many notes, I'm just going to crank it, many frames that is, I'm just going to crank it down to 6, and you can see that it's animating fairly well. Alright, well, as you saw, I had an in transition for my effect where they were faded when they first came in. It's also good to have an out transition at the end of your effect so that all the elements fade out in some manner or finish. So what these would do is they would swirl all the way down to the bottom and then fade out, and then the effect would be finished. I usually make my effects anywhere from 12 to 16 frames long, depending on what looks best. Alright, that's everything. See you later.